Hi developers, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zuli. In this tutorial, we're going to be using something super useful and beginners friendly. We're going to be building a productive to-do list app using React.js and CSS. So in this project, you're going to learn everything from handling state with use state to updating lists dynamically to toggling completion and even deleting tasks, all with clean and modern styling. So whether you're looking for a fun mini project to sharpen your skin or you're just looking for something to practice your React knowledge with, this tutorial is for you. So we're going to walk through the step by step of building this, and if this sounds good, please do well to watch to the end so that you can build everything completely. Also click on the like button, please subscribe to my channel, and then share this video with your friends and family. All right, let's get to it. So this is basically what we're going to be building. This is a very simple to-do list app. In less than 30 minutes you're going to finish this project completely. So this is what we're building. We have this gradients background here looking all slick and good. Then we have this productive to-do list here. So we have an input field and a button. So in the input field you can add a new task. So this is the place where I add a new task. So I'm going to add a task, make my bed. I'll add it. Click on the button. You can see we have a list here and we have an icon to delete. Let's see, walk my dog, just citing an example. Okay, check my emails. I'll add, let's say, make a video for YouTube. Add it. You can see we have 4 lists here that has been added, and we have an icon here to delete any list. So if I click on this, you can see that has been deleted. If I click on this, it has been deleted. If I click on this, it has been deleted. So we're going to build this simple to-do list application right now. Let's get started. First off, you need to open any code editor of your choice. I'm going to be using VS Code. Then we'll navigate to the terminal, click on new terminal. So I'm going to be using the git bash terminal. So we're going to create our project folder in the terminal. So first off, we need to change directory to desktop. Then we'll change directory again because I have a folder where I create YouTube projects. So I'm going to change directory to YouTube projects, the folder. Now we're going to create our React app by running this npm create vit at latest to do app hyphen template React. Press enter and make sure you're connected to the internet. Now we're going to follow this simple step. First, we need to change directory to the to-do app. Then we're going to run this command npm install to install all React dependencies. Now that we have successfully installed our React, we're going to open the project folder in a new window. So we'll type in code space, then full stop, then press enter. This is going to open up our project in a new window. So I'm going to close the previous project and I'm going to expand this. Okay. All right. So this is what we have now. Now we need to test if this app is working. Navigate to terminal. Click on new terminal. Okay, we're going to be using git bash. And now we're going to run this command npm run dev. So we're going to start our server now so that we can view our React app in local browser. So right here, we're going to click on this and you can see the React app. Okay, this is the default React app. And we're going to do some cleanup so that we can build this. All right, so another thing we need to install is React icons because we are using an icon here. So React icons. So we're installing the npm package. If you're on this website, npmjs.com/package/react icon, then you come over here, copy the installation code, and then we're going to paste it in the new terminal. Okay, so while this is installing, we're going to do our cleanup. Okay, we'll start with our source, the app.jsx. Let me minimize this a bit. So let's see if we can make a change before the cleanup. I'm going to type in subscribe to my channel. Okay, so we have it here. Subscribe to my channel. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please, this is another reminder that you should please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Okay, so React icon has been installed successfully. Now let's work on our Okay, so Control A, I'll delete everything that we have here. Then we're going to use this shortcut REFC to create React snippets. Press enter. To use this shortcut, you need to have this extension EX7 React native extension. Please do well to install this extension. Now for app.css, I'm not going to use it for this project, so I'm going to delete it. Then everything we have in index.css as well, Ctrl A, then backspace, delete it all. Now our index.html, we're going to change our project title to Todo app. And that is going to reflect right here. Okay. And this is our app here. Now let's start building. So in our source folder, I'm going to create a new folder for the Todo app. In the Todo app folder, I'm going to create two files, the GSX and CSS file. So we're going to have Todo app.gsx, REFC to create React snippets. Then I'll create the CSS file, Todo app.css. Press enter as well. We'll come back to the CSS file later on. So let's build. I'm going to delete this first. Then for our div tag, I'm going to give it a class name of Todo container. Okay, so inside this container, we're going to have our h1 tag, which is going to serve as our title, productive to do lists. After the title, we're going to have our input form. So we'll have the form tag. Inside this form tag, we're going to have our input field, input for text. Then we'll have a placeholder, add a new task. Okay. And after the input field, we're going to have a button. It's going to be a submit button. So type here will be submit. I need to take this text, add. So we have our title and we have our form. Then we're going to have the next thing we need to have is the list. We're going to come back to that. Okay, as you can see, there's nothing reflecting here. It's only showing up because we're here to mount our to-do folder, our to-do file in our app.gsx. So let's do that. I'm going to head over here where we have app, delete this, press enter, then to-do app. I'll mount it here. Okay, so we've imported this already. And now this is what we have. We have an input field and we have a button. We have our title as well. Okay, so next is to write all the functionalities that will ensure that once you type in an input, once the input receives the text and we click on the add button, it should be added to the list. There should be a list. So to do that, I'm going to close this. To do that, we're going to come over here, then press enter, then we'll start with it. So first off, we need to create a state variable to track our input value and also a setter function to update the input value. So I'm going to name the state variable task and the setter function will be set task. So we're going to have const task setter function to update it, set task will be equals to use state. By default, we're going to set this to an empty string. Next is to create another state variable to hold all the to-do items, which is going to be the list, and a setter function to update the to-do item. And by default, we're going to set it to an empty array. So here, const to do setter function set to do's will be equals to use state empty array. So basically, this variable here, task, has an empty array. This to do here as the variable here has an empty string and the to do as an empty array. Okay, and these are the function to update them. Next thing we need to do is to create the function that will undo a new task. That is, that will undo input. So I'm going to name the function undo task. So here const undo task will be equal to, we're going to pass an event right here. So first, we need to prevent the page reload. So it's going to be e.prevent default. Then we're going to prevent adding empty task. Okay, so basically the task here is set to empty, but now we need to prevent adding empty task so that the user will not just type in nothing and click on add. If I click on add now, nothing is going on because the input field is empty. So I hope you get that picture. Okay, so we're going to have if statement. If not task, that means if task is empty, I want to trim it, the trim, then we're going to return nothing. Return. Okay. But if there is a task, we're going to create a new to do object. So we're going to have const new to do. We'll have an ID, and the ID will be date.now. So this ID will be unique for each task. We'll add a comma. Next object will be text, and it's going to be our task. Then we're going to mark task as not completed. So we're going to have completed false. Okay, so this is our new to do object right here. Then we're going to update the to do state with the new task. That is, if there is a task, which is what we just did here, we want to update the to do state with the new task. So we're going to be updating with the function, obviously. So we're going to come right here and we're going to have set to do's, open our brackets with new to do, which is the new to do object. And then we're going to spread the to do's, spread to do's. And after this, we're going to clear the input field. So we're going to set task to empty. Okay. So after we've updated the to do state with the new task, then we're going to clear the input field. So this means that we've added this new object, new to do object to the list. Then we're clearing the input field. Nothing will be in the input field. All right. Next step is to create the function to undo toggle task completion status. Okay, so we're going to have const. I'll give the function toggle complete, and we're going to pass ID as a parameter here. The first step here is to update the to do state using set to do's. So we're going to have set to do's, open our brackets. Then we're going to use map to loop through each to do item. So we're going to have to do dot map, open our bracket, third. Okay, I'm going to give this to do's because it's not just one. Okay, so any other place we have it, I'm going to add an S. This is going to take an S as well. Okay, so we're mapping now. Okay, we want to use map to loop through each to do item. Okay, so okay, we're having a little bit error here. This should be inside another bracket. Okay, and this right here should be here. Okay, so everything is sorted. All right, now we're going to check if the current to do ID matches the one that we clicked on. Then we're going to return a new object with all the existing properties but toggle completed. And we're going to spread all properties of the to do. Otherwise, we're going to return the to do as it is. Okay, let's see this. So we're going to use a ternary operator to do this. If to do dot ID match with the ID of the one that we clicked on, use a ternary operator to do this. If it does not match, we're going to return the to do as it is. Okay, so this thing we want to do here, if it matches, is to return a new object with all existing properties but toggle completed, and also spread all properties of the to do. So we're going to first spread all the properties of the to do, and then we want to return a new object with all existing properties. So here we're going to have completed not to do that's completed. Okay, and if otherwise, let me close this. If otherwise, we want to return the to do as it is. Okay, so this is the function to toggle completed. Next function is to delete. Okay, I'm going to name the function delete task. I'm going to pass ID as a parameter. And then we're going to filter out the to do with the matching ID and update the state. So we're going to set to do's. Then we'll filter to do dot filter pass in to do. Then we're going to check to do dot ID. That does not match. We're going to display the ones that do not match with the ID of the one that we want to complete. So that's what we just did now. Now that we have all the functions that's going to undo everything, we can now start listing. We can now list all the tasks that will be added. Okay, so first off, we're going to create our list. UL dot to do lists. Then we're going to map over all the to dos. So to do dot map pass to do. To do's, it's supposed to be to do's. Okay. Now we'll list the items. We'll have our span tag here, and the span tag is going to have our to do dot test. Our text right here is the task, right, which is also our to do list. Then we're going to have our button as well. So we're going to have a button here. And the button, we're using the icon, the delete icon. So I'm just going to type in delete, and React is going to list icons that will match with this keyword delete. So I'm just going to select an icon. So I'm going to be using this icon. I'm going to use this icon. Okay. Now, so this is what we have, but this is not done yet, right? For the lists item, we need to pass a key to uniquely identify each of the tasks, and the key will be to do. We're using our ID to identify each of the tasks. So the key will be to do.id. Okay, and we're going to check for the completed one with the styling. So here we're going to have to do that's completed. This is a ternary operator. If it is completed, then there's a styling that will be attached to this completed. If it is not, there is no styling to any task that is not marked as completed. Okay, so if the task is completed and is added, there's a styling here. If the task is not completed, there is no styling. That's basically what it is. Also, for our span tag as well, we're going to add an on-click function so that we can call our toggle complete. So that we can call this toggle complete function. So here, toggle complete, and we can pass to do.id. We already have the toggle complete function right here, and then we're using it here. Also, for the button, to ensure that when the user clicks on this button, the task will be deleted, we have a function that is going to filter that already. We'll use an on-click as well, and we're going to call our undo delete function, our delete task function. So here we'll pass to do.id as well, so that I can delete a particular list. Now that we have all of this, the next function that we're here to use is this undo task. Okay, so for the undo task, we're going to use it here in the form. Okay, so we're going to have on submit. We use the on submit to call the undo task function, and we'll give the form a class name as well, to do form. Okay, next thing is our input field that we have right here. So for this input field, we need to get the value. We're going to save the value as task. So here, value is task. And then we'll use an onChange method to call our function, the set task function, which is the function that is going to track if there is any updates So this is going to track it. We're going to have e dot target dot value. Okay, so now that we have this, let's see what we have on the browser. Okay, so let's see, make my bed. I click on add. You can see that this has been added. Let's see, make a video added. If I click on this icon, that task has been deleted. If I click on this icon, that task has also been deleted. All right, so this is working perfectly well. Now let's style it to look exactly like this. So let's style. First, we need to style the entire body. So we're going to have body margin will be 0. We're styling our index.css. Okay, our padding as well. We'll set it to 0. The height will take 100 VH. Display would be flex. Justify content center. Align items at the center as well. Then we're going to have the font family. We're going to use these fonts, Poppins. Let's see. Okay. All right. So this is the font family that we're using. Now we're going to set our background with linear gradients, 135 degrees for this color code 667EEA. Add a comma, another color code 764BA2. Okay, so this is the color code that we're using for this project. Let's see. All right, so this is working. Now I'll close the index.css and we're going to style our to-do app.css. But first, before styling, we need to import our CSS file into our JSX file. So we're going to import /to-do app.css. Then we'll start by styling the to-do container. I'll copy this because it's a class name .v. Alright, the background color, we'll set it to white. The padding will take 2 rem. The width will take 90%. Then we'll have a max width of 500 pixels. The border radius will take 1 rem. Text align, center, and we'll have a box shadow. 0, 15 pixels, 30 pixels, and this color code. .2. Okay. Then we have an h1 tag right here in our to-do container. So we're going to have the to-do container h1. The margin button, we'll set it to 1 rem. Then the text color will take this color code. Then we have our to-do form. I'll copy this. Then I'll come paste it right here. Display, flex. We'll have a gap of 0.5 rem. And we also have a margin button of 1.5 rem. Then we have an input field inside this to do. So it's going to be .to do form, input tag, flex will be 1, padding of 0.8 rem. The font size of our placeholder text will be 1 rem. And we'll have a border of 2 pixels solid and this color code. Then we'll have a border radius of 0.5 rem. Outline, we're going to set that to none. And then we have a button dot to do form button tag. We'll have a background color of this color code. The text color will be white. We'll set the border to none. We'll have a padding for 0.8 rem and 1.2 rem for the width and height. So the font size here for the text and the button will be 1 rem. Border radius will take 0.5 rem. Cursor will be pointer. And then transition will be background 0.2 seconds. Okay, now for the button, if you hover on it, over the background color, we'll take this color code. Okay. Next up is our to-do list. So the list down here, we're going to set this to none. Padding will be 0. Margin will be 0 as well. Then we have list items. So for the list items, display would be flex. Justify content, space between. That's the space between the span tag and the button, which is the icon to delete. So align items, center. Background color, we'll take this color code. Margin bottom, we'll take this. Padding, we'll take 0.8 rem. Border radius, we'll take 0.5 rem. Okay, now for the completed task, right here, if a task is completed to be listed, we're going to style that as well. Dot to do lists, list items dot completed. The background color, we'll take this color code. Text decoration, line through, and we'll have the text color to take. Then we have the span tag dot to do lists, list item, the span tag. Cursor, we'll set that to pointer. Flex would be 1. Then text align left. Then we have the button, to do list, list items, button tag. Background color, none. I mean background, no background color. Background none, border none. Font size 1.2 rem. Color, we'll take this color code. Then we'll set our cursor to pointer. And padding left, we'll take 1 rem. Okay, so this is what we have now. Let's add a new task. Make a cookie. If I add it now, you can see it has been added. Clean my room. It has been added. So this is just a very simple fun project that you can add to your portfolio, or if you just need something to build. If you watch till the end, that means you learned one or two. Please drop a comment. I would really appreciate it. And thank you for watching. See you on the next one.